Now, in the short run, a monopolistically competitive firm can earn profits or losses. But what will occur in the long run? Good question. What do you think? Well, if you thought about the fact that with monopolistically competitive firms, there are basically very, very low barriers to entry or effectively almost free entry and exit, we might have something similar to what we saw with competitive markets, right? Because when firms see profits, they enter. New firms enter. And when firms are incurring losses, some of them exit. Now, the process is a little bit different than what we already saw with competitive markets, but that's basically what's going to happen. Okay? Now, let's see here. This is basically going to be the long-run picture for a monopolistically competitive firm. This is the zero profit condition, right? And this is where the average total cost curve is basically neither above nor below the demand curve. It just barely touches it, right? So this is the zero profit condition. Now, when firms in a monopolistically competitive industry are making profits, this encourages new firms to enter. Now, it's, again, like I mentioned, it's slightly different than what we saw with perfectly competitive firms. The difference here is that as new firms enter, the demand in that industry is split among more firms. And so the demand curve here, now I will mention this note that I haven't mentioned yet, the demand curve here is not the market demand, right? This is not market demand. This is a portion of market demand that the individual firm is able to capture. And so as new firms enter as the result of short-run profits, this demand curve is going to shift basically to the left. It's going to decrease because the market demand is being split among more firms as new firms enter. And then the opposite happens when these firms make a loss in the short run. Some of them are going to exit, which is going to cause the firm's demand to shift out into the right. It's going to cause the demand for the firm to increase because now market demand is being split among fewer firms as firms exit. And this adjustment happens until we get to the long run zero profit condition, where there's no longer an incentive for firms to enter or exit, and so no more adjustments take place. But that's basically what's happening here. So it's a little bit different than what we saw with perfectly competitive firms. In this case, it's the demand curve that the individual firm faces is going to be increasing as firms exit or decreasing as firms enter, okay? And then we get to our long run condition when there's zero economic profit in the long run.